everyone, it's Helen from MindBE Education, and today I want to talk a little bit about where do we start, how do we bring mindfulness into schools. So you may have heard a lot about mindfulness and the benefits that it's having with adults, with teenagers, in clinical settings, but there's also more and more research coming out showing that it's really beneficial in preschools and schools as well. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what those benefits are, and then some simple ways that you can bring mindfulness into your school. So as you know, I'm sure, mindfulness is about being fully present, being aware, and being in the moment. So how do we translate that into these busy school environments where we're often preparing for the future, preparing for upcoming assignments and tests, and maybe in preschool, getting into the primary school that you want to go to, and those kind of things. So we are going to look at some of the benefits. So first of all, there's quite a lot of research showing that mental health in children is declining, and it's not in a particular area. It's actually in many countries around the world. The UK, for example, is called a national health crisis about the mental health of children. And, you know, countries all over the world are realizing that this is a huge problem. And why that is happening, there's a variety of reasons, but life has gotten more and more complicated, busier, and we have technology, which is this wonderful tool, but it's also something that can cause a lot of distraction, a lot of problems in children, bullying each other in their feeling of self-esteem and having a lack of personal connections. So there's all kinds of things that are going on in the world that may be causing increased mental health issues in children. But mindfulness, it's not for everyone. It's not a quick fix that is just going to make everything perfect again, but it is something that is really, really useful, really, you know, has helped me personally. I've seen it work in so many schools, and I would say that it's a really good tool for many children and adults to use. So first of all, we have research showing that mindfulness can help with stress reduction. So it improves relaxation and feelings of calmness. So you can imagine that that can be very important in a school situation where maybe children are anxious about attending school, about coming back to school during this period of COVID that we're experiencing right now. For older kids, when they have tests or exams, being able to manage that stress and stimulate their relaxation response and a feeling of calm is really important and a great thing for children to do and to have in their toolbox. So it's also been shown to improve just general well-being. So children seem to feel happier, to be more prone to thriving and flourishing when they develop these habits and practices around mindfulness, and they can bring them with them into the ups and downs that life always throws at us. It's also been shown to improve physical health. You know, there's a lot of breath work that we do, especially with the young children in relation to mindfulness. And this has been shown to help children have better physical health. It helps children to sleep better, have better sleeping skills, and also to be able to practice and notice their movements and have some control in how they're moving with mindful movement. So their physical health. We also see improved focus in the classroom and in students. So a big part of mindfulness is paying attention. And when we teach children to pay attention and notice and not judge things, we develop these skills that are perfect for a classroom, because if you're a teacher, you need your students to pay attention, right? So it's a great tool to get kids really focused on the task at hand. We also see with preschoolers, you know, children are focused on their play. They can get so absorbed in their play, so they are naturally curious and mindful, but can also bring this skill to other areas where maybe they aren't as focused. So there's lots of strategies that we can use to build up that focused attention and help children in schools. So let's talk about some of the ways that you could bring mindfulness into your school if you're pondering how to do that. So first of all, when we're bringing mindfulness in, we have to think about the adults and the people that are surrounding the children, and if they are practicing mindfulness themselves, if they're a mindful person, and how they are portraying themselves, because we know that the embodiment of mindfulness, that is a teacher who has a practice, who can create that pause between the response, between a stimulus and a response, that just naturally helps the children in the class, because they see the teacher is acting in a certain way that, you know, they don't get furious when something goes wrong, but they can calm down, they can take a breath. So really modeling our own mindfulness is one really key aspect of bringing mindfulness into your school. So if you're interested in mindfulness, really suggest that you, you know, start simply. You can use an app like Headspace or Buddhify or any one of those apps that are available. Find which one you like, and then just start your own short practice. You could join an 8-week NBSR course in your area. There's also online versions of them. So just see what works for you, but you can't, with mindfulness, it's not just about learning about it and reading about it. It's actually about the practice of being mindful yourself. So take baby steps yourself and see what happens to you. If you notice any differences, take it slowly, and then your changed self will also reflect in your classroom. So another thing that we can do is just start the day with a mindful moment. So sometimes it gets so busy, we go into school, we're racing around, bags are everywhere, shoes are everywhere. So it's really nice to just say, hey, kids, like, let's start with mindful breath. So let's sit up mindfully and let's just all settle down, and let's take a deep breath in. And out. And just doing that 2 or 3 times can just bring a real calmness and focus into your classroom and get people ready for learning and ready for the day. So I recommend you do that, you know, throughout the day, just taking that breath together. There's lots of fun ways to use breath with children. So you can do, you know, kind of alligator breaths or bumblebee breaths, or any different kind. You can use the Hoberman sphere where you're opening and closing it. So I have another information sheet on my website if you want to get that and learn some more fun breaths that you can do with your students. But yeah, just recommend starting off simply. You don't need any equipment or anything, just start with what you have and bring in these few moments. And then listening is another great one. We all have ears, and you can simply ask children to notice what they can hear. And if you haven't tried this yourself, I think you'll be amazed at what you hear as well when we're actually silent and still. We can hear many, many things that when we're just going on autopilot, we kind of miss. So just taking 1 minute and asking everyone to listen silently and hear what they can hear. I can hear some birds in my garden right now from doing this. But that's a great way to bring some mindfulness and into your day. You can also do this if you're going somewhere, if you're transitioning with the students. So why don't we take a mindful listening walk and just see and notice what we hear? And then of course, giving children a chance to share what they found on that walk. Using a bell, a mindful bell. It can be any kind of bell. It could be a singing bowl or other kinds of bells, or a xylophone. You see what you have available in your school or what you can receive and use that. But playing the bell and listening until the sound can't be heard anymore. Just bringing everyone together with the bell. One thing we don't want to do is kind of use the bell as a behavior management tool, like, okay, it's time to be quiet, listen to the bell. So the bell is about noticing, about listening, and in some cases, listening with stillness to see when we can hear the sound of the bell, and noticing how long it actually goes on. Whereas when we're in a rush, you might just think it was 1 second. Also taking mindful breaks. So we sometimes get so much in a rush. I know you have a lot of things to do in schools. You have lots of programs and different aspects of the curriculum that you need to cover, but it's really great just to take a mindful break. So kids have been working for a bit, and just to say, hey, let's all stand up and let's do some mindful movement. So let's, pretend we're a tree with our feet can be the roots in the ground, so they're not going to move. And then we're going to sway about and imagine that we're a tree outside and noticing how that feels in our bodies, and then using our breath. So there's lots of different mindful movement activities that you can do that preschoolers think are so much fun. And again, if you visit the website, we have some ideas on there of what you can do. So enjoy that. And then just bringing mindfulness into the day in natural ways. So if you have a snack time or you're eating, perhaps just taking, once a week or twice a week to try and do that mindfully. So talking to the children about where the food came from, like how did it grow from a seed or other thing into the food that it is today. Like how did it harvest? How did it get here? Who was involved in doing that? It didn't just grow on a tree and then appear in the supermarket and then appear in the school. A lot of people were involved in that along the way. So, and then just really appreciating what nature has given us and that we have this food before us, and really slowing down and eating it and noticing the flavors and the smells and things that come along with it. More and more we're seeing children's obesity increasing and children gobbling down food, and sometimes that is a result of school and lack of time, and the teacher is saying, hurry up, eat. You have to get to the next thing. So we really want to look at that and see how we can bring a peaceful, mindful eating opportunity to the children. And then, yeah, just bring in small ideas such as building empathy and kindness and compassion and mindfulness. And that can all be done through storybooks. There's many, many wonderful stories that bring these skills either explicitly or implicitly in the storybook. And we know that bibliotherapy is a great way for children to learn and absorb new skills in this area. So again, we have recommended books and resources on my website, so be sure to check that out. And if you'd like to learn more about bringing mindfulness into your school, we have a certified MindBE preschool curriculum course where we train you on the MindBE curriculum and how to make that successful in your school. So check that out too. All right, let me know if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer anything, and goodbye.